been like 4 months since I reacted to Lara Fabian, which is actually quite fast for me. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. Over there. Sounded quite Disney. Meh. So if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content like outtakes and my Vocal Anatomy 101 series, so consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, we are going to go back and listen to some Lara Fabian or Fabian. This, I believe, is from the same concert that I listened to Adagio. So this is Je Suis Malade. Let's go. Let's listen. Let's see what we think.
Je ne rêve plus. Je ne fume plus, je n'ai même plus d'histoire. Je suis laide sans toi, je suis sale sans toi, comme une orpheline dans un dortoir. Je n'ai plus envie.
So she is doing so much emotional work here. She's doing it in a few different ways. One is she's taking these little short, sharp breaths which are giving emotional intent, like almost like a feeling of she's about to bare her soul or something that she's trying to hold back from saying. You see it with people that are going to fight with each other. They go, they kind of just snatch their breath, and that's what she's doing. And it's not because she needs it to sing the phrase, although I mean you need to breathe, but she's using that as an emotional tool. She's using a little bit of fry, which is a little creak at the start of phrases. It's where your vocal folds go slack and you get a bubbly kind of texture. She's mixing it into a beautiful, soft, airy aspirate voice, which is where more air comes through the folds. And then she's also mixing that into speech. So it's almost like the mask is kind of slipping and she's giving you her whole authentic self. Very, very well done.
Vivre ma vie cesse quand tu pars. Je n'ai plus de vie et même mon lit se transforme en quai de gare. Quand tu t'en vas, je suis malade, complètement malade, comme quand ma mère sortait le soir et qu'elle me laissait seule avec mon désespoir. Je suis malade, parfaitement malade. T'arrives, on ne sait jamais quand. Tu pars, on ne sait jamais où.
Gorgeous, absolutely amazing. It's Malada. I'm sorry, I always said Malade. Anyway, one thing that really stuck out for me there is that her soft head voice is actually just as intense as her mix voice. Now her mix is, which is what she was doing in the chorus, it's got a lot of texture to it, and I think that's actually maybe softening the sound down slightly. And I don't mean down as in deteriorating, I mean it just gives it a different flavour, and I think that allows her to kind of really punch at some of these phrases, but it's not going to be like too much, it's not going to irritate you. It's very, very balanced in sound. Woo, delightful.
Et ça va faire bientôt 2 ans que tu t'en fous comme un rocher, comme un péché. Je suis accrochée à toi, je suis fatiguée, je suis épuisée de faire semblant d'être heureuse. Quand ils sont là, je bois toutes les nuits que tous les whisky, pour moi, auront le même goût. Et tous les bateaux portent ton drapeau. Je ne sais plus où aller, tu es partout, je suis malade.
I like that she's adding in whispers now. A whisper is actually quite taxing on your voice because of the amount of air that it pushes through your vocal folds. It can be quite drying. So the fact that she's doing that in the middle of a song, it just shows that she's probably a very, very good vocalist, because you don't want to be adding in anything that's going to potentially dry out your folds mid-song. So she's definitely in like full vocal health if she's mixing in whispers. This performance is super, super emotional. The way that she's managing to mix vocal into speech, speech into whispers, and back again, and kind of mixing it all in together is just insane. When she tells you she's exhausted, you feel that emotion off of her. She's exasperated, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to convey emotion that well, and she is doing it so, so effortlessly. It's amazing.
Complètement malade, je verse mon sang dans ton corps, et je suis comme un oiseau mort. Quand tout est du dos, je suis malade, parfaitement malade. Tu m'as privé de tous mes chants, tu m'as vidé de tous mes mots.
She is getting into a more intense place now, and you can tell because she's backing away from the mic when she's singing these da-da, da-da. You can see she's actually moving away from the mic because she'd overfeed it. You need a certain balance with your sound to get that whispered effort and that spoken word out clean and clearly. But if you were then to like belt into the mic, you would overfeed it and it would end up sounding quite bad. So the fact that she knows to move away when she's getting into that more belty place just shows that she knows exactly what she's doing with her mic technique as well. That jutting of her neck could also be to get her neck anchors in place. They are muscle groups that help to stabilize the larynx for when you're doing more intense voicing. So that could also be a reason why she does that quite a lot. I just love how expressive her face is as well. She uses every little expression that she can, and she uses her mouth shape to full effect to get these vowels and these consonants really, really distinct. And it's at a cost, at like she's not bothered about what her face looks like. I think I said this in the last video. She's not bothered about it looking absolutely perfect and pristine. She wants you to see that grit. She wants you to see that kind of gnarly kind of look on her face because it aids the performance as a whole. Fantastic.
Pourtant, je crois que j'avais du talent. Avant ta peau, cet amour m'a tué.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
Si ça continue, je creverai seule avec moi, près de ma radio, comme un gosse idiot, en écoutant ma propre voix qui chantera.
Hear how she went from a really airy, really kind of pared back place into that nasal tone. So you're doing ah. Now that is using your velum, which is otherwise known as your soft palate. Some people call it that. To full effect, that allows that airflow to get up into your nasal passage, and it really dampens the sound. It makes it really buttery and kind of slick sounding. Also a little bit of oral twang. That is where your epiglottis makes a little chamber above the vocal folds, condensing that airflow and making a much more bolder, punchy sound. So a little bit of that applied to both of them. Not huge amounts, but a little bit just really pushes that sound forward. And when you're dealing with such a kind of emotional, exasperated sound before it, it just gives that extra little lick of heat. Gorgeous.
Je suis malade, complètement malade, comme quand ma mère sortait le soir et qu'elle me laissait seule avec mon désespoir. Je suis malade, c'est ça. Je suis malade, tu
That was... I can't stop it! That was insane. That took me on a real journey with the whole... Oh, sorry, there's a squirrel outside flapping its tail. That's really distracting. Hello. Bizarre. Anyway, she really took me on a journey there with the whole mic technique thing. You saw at one point her mic was like down at her knees and you could still pick her up. So she has control over her voice to the point where she can make this belty sounding mix voice that she can belt right into the mic. But then she can also belt that sounds really similar to the mix, that is loud enough that when she puts her mic down to her knees, it's still getting picked up as clearly as when her mic is in front of her face. Just make it make sense. She's so good. Fantastic. So hope you liked that reaction. If you did, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and how are we going to buy this one? So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me, and now I'll say goodbye. But before you go, subscribe. It would make me happy, but it's not obligatory. What? It's not obligatory, but it would be nice. Thanks, bye.